wonder if you could comment, Alysia, on also the experience of Black women with trauma. You know, we see it powerfully in this film through your character, Mrs. Winters. And I feel like it's, again, maybe not a not something we always see in film, particularly bigger budget projects. The how you know, mothers and wives, we see it from Dominique Fishback's character, portrays the late widow of Chairman Hampton, and her pain, her suffering as she's pregnant with Chairman Hampton Jr. in the film. Like, could you just talk a little bit about that? You know, Black women and their experience of trauma, and why it was important to portray that part of the story as well.
It carried a huge responsibility for me. I don't want to speak for Mama Akua, aka Deborah Johnson, but to have that realization that you're with somebody that you love, that you realize that they would give their life for the freedom of their people has to be really scary. you know like, this is a dude I kick it with, this is a dude I live with and I love with and I lay down with, and he's willing to give up the ghost at any moment for the
Right.
people. Like, all the people, like, can we, just, take care of three people. Like, but that's the life. When you think of Martin Luther King Jr., when you think of Malcolm X,
Mm.
who I'm saddened how he lit, how his life ended, where he had nothing and his whole life was given for the people. Um, that has to be really hard, to carry that. And it's the women of the movement who have supported the men in that fashion. Not only that, but the strength of a woman, the strength of a woman to say, after all this trauma, I'm still going to go on. So we see, like, Trayvon Martin's mom, who's, run for office. And we see Michael Brown's mom that says, I'm going to take my pain and I'm going to make some changes. Um, to see Eric Garner's mom fight so hard for other parents who have lost children in the same way. And no matter how old your children are, having a child being taken in that way does not lessen the pain of their age. It's more tragic when they're young and they don't get to live a life, but it doesn't lessen the pain that someone took your child from you, in that manner. Um, the strength of a woman. And I wanted to show that in this because I felt in that scene it was my responsibility at that time not to delve into my own grief, even though you could tell she was cloaked in it, but to alleviate Chairman Fred the responsibility of Jake's death.
Right.
And then in return, because I'm going to do this for you, this is what I want you to do for me, is immortalize him. Don't forget him. Don't let anybody forget his name. And when I talk to the families of Mark Clark and when I talk to the families of Jake Winters, that's one thing they wanted, is that, especially for Jake, well, Mark was 22,
Right.
you know. They didn't be, especially because they were so young and they gave their life for a cause, that they didn't want their names to be forgotten.
Yeah, I think your Mrs. Winters in the film powerfully says that, you know, and also reminds the chairman of what that he was a child, you know, that he was a 7 year old at some point. He was, you know, a kid. And of course, again, we see that to this day with Tamir Rice and the loss of so many other young folks, Black folks, at the hands of police. Uh, could you talk a little bit about the legacy as you see it, Alysia, of the Black Panthers? I know that, you know, Fred Hampton Jr., Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is still active, still fighting the good fight, as you said. So it's not like the party is no more. But I wonder if you could just talk about how the legacy squares with this moment that we're in 2021, and the Black Lives Matter movement amongst other, civil rights efforts that we're living through and with.
I think it's igniting. I think it's really igniting because people are going, wow, I didn't know that. What can I do? You know, and I don't care what color you are, but when you see it, you go, oh my God, what can I do? What can I do to help? What can I do today to be a part of a change? White kids, and Hispanic kids, and they're all saying, my nephew was like, well, auntie, is there a chapter here in LA, or is it something that, they want to know, how can I help? Because they want to do something with the pain that this film is evoking,
Right.
you know and that's different. Even the response that I feel is even different than seeing another video. you know this film is sparking a fight, a willingness to continue the legacy. Or what can I get involved in a breakfast program? What can I do? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's a great moment of saying, we're not dead. Oh my God, those words ring so true. You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill a revolution, because the revolution continues, the struggle continues until everybody is free, until everybody can live life the way they envisioned it, you know, without without barriers. I think we'll still be trying to fight for the things that are right. And as much as there could be wrong, there's so much right in the world. There's so many people loving each other. There's so many people who, I mean, have a fire and see how many of your neighbors come out to help you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You get naked, let me go get a jacket for you. You need a water hose, let me go get a water hose. I mean, you know, oh, you need some clothes on your back because all your stuff is gone. People come out. I mean, look at the girl that got that gorilla glue stuck to her head. And all the people that gave to her GoFundMe. I think the heart of America is still about love, even though there's pockets of hate that we still have to fight. I believe in love. I do. I do. I believe in love, and I believe in goodness. And if I want to live in a fairy tale, if that's what it is, then so be it. But at the end of that, I feel hope, and I feel that there's more God people out there than there are the other. And I hold on to that part.